Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power, as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my sister, my in-laws, my father, and all of my subscribers, my viewers, my listeners, my supporters, and all of the brothers and sisters who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. Special shout outs to also, as always, my supporters in terms of donators. You know, I need not to mention you all's names. You know who you are. You know, and I appreciate you all greatly, especially those who I talk to over the phone and kind of build with you all. Unfortunately, I don't have that much time where I can just hold a cipher, you know, for a long period of time. But nevertheless, hopefully we'll get the chance and opportunities to do that one day. Hopefully soon. I'm a little under the weather today based on I got a slight cold, and I'm taking the garlic demonstration, the water, the garlic, the green juice. So, you know, just bear with me while, you know, I allow this process to take its course. First, I want to talk about some things that you may not know. Always, I try to give you a little bit of history. And the picture you see before you is a picture of the first black football player in history. The first black football player in history. His name is Charles Fowles. And this is in 1879. You know, very, very talented brother. Multi-talented. And you have to understand, back then, it was expected of our ancestors to do the supernatural just to make the team and just to fit in. And so Charles Fowles is he's the first black football player on record that we know of. And this is another photo of him. Excuse me, let me adjust my camera. Yeah, this is another picture of Charles Fowles, who, once again, like I said, he was the first black football player that on record that we know of. You know, it was hundreds and more. We've had our own football teams prior to this ancestor being selected by the Devils. And, you know, we give honors to him. You know, those that have been forgotten, and also those who we never knew existed. This is Kenny Washington, the first black NFL football player. And this is in 1946. And amazing brother. Yeah, the first black NFL football player in 1946. And he played for the Los Angeles Rams. Kenny Washington, along with Woody Strode. Woody Strode became an actor as well. He played in a lot of westerns, as well as being signed as one of the first black football players in the NFL. Both were signed to the Rams in 1946. Kenny Washington being the first. I believe it was in May of 1946. And Washington was a superb running back. Very hard to bring down. And during those days, you see, there weren't any face guards, face masks, or anything like that. So, you know, he was subjected to a lot of spit, you know, being kicked in the face and you know, just total degradation. You know, but they'll make it appear like, you know, it was just some clean football, and we all know better than that. Now, it is said that, one second, for those who didn't know, Jackie Robinson, who you see pictured here, was a better football player than he was baseball. And he made a decision to go with the LA Dodgers when he could have easily went to the LA Rams, easily, because his love was with football more than baseball. And he played with Woody Strode too. And this is a picture of him at UCLA 1939. You know, so it's a lot of history with our brothers and sisters. You know, a lot of information that we don't know about. However, the reason Jackie Robinson wanted to stick with football because he knew he was not the best black baseball player at the time. Because Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and several others were far better players than Jackie Robinson. Not to take anything from him. However, Jackie Robinson was the only one that they looked at as being more articulate than Gibson and Page and others. You know, not meaning more intelligent, just more articulate with his diction, his English language. Now, what I want to talk about right now is this is a picture of the bar in LA where the 12 California where the 12 people were, you know, murdered the other day. And, you know, who can they blame this on? You know. And you'll understand where I'm going there with this in a minute. You know, now 12 people, 12 whites were killed, murdered in this bar or this nightclub the other day by a so-called crazed gunman. You know, and this is a picture of the synagogue in Pittsburgh. And what baffles me is, it really doesn't baffle me because it's so blatant of how the outcry and the pouring of support that crackers get when they are murdered. You know, the television coverage, the media, how they depict, you know, these people to be, you know, so pure and so without malice and so innocent. You know, when you know that, you know, these were racists too. And the so-called Jew, once again, wants the support of the entire black community to pretend like they're linking arms. And we're sitting there, the black community, you got niggas sitting here, you know, sympathizing with these so-called Jews, you know, and writing checks and a whole bunch of other shit, you know, which sickens me. You know, I don't know how you feel about it, you know, but it sickens me, you know, because, example, how many black people were murdered the same day or the same night as these two incidents took place? You don't hear anything about this because black lives do not matter. Black lives do not matter. That's a fucking fashion statement for liberal whites to use to portray that they're not part of white supremacy and the system of racism. Cut and dry. Niggas are, half of these people are niggas. Pouring out. Stand in front of the synagogue in rain, to give support and donations to these people. Now everyone knows the so-called white Jew has all the money on the planet, controls all the money, controls all the gold and the diamonds, controls the media, controls the television networks, controls sports, owns all the sports teams. And you niggas don't own nothing. Not even your name. But yet, you'll give some of your hard-earned money that you slave for the same so-called white Jews that you work for and give them their money back. It's a goddamn shame. It's a goddamn shame. This is the motherfucking cracker, David Long, who, supposedly committed suicide after he shot 12 motherfucking crackers in the bar in California. And he was supposed to have been suffering from PTSD and they make all types of excuses for these motherfuckers when they go on these rampages. It's excusable. But what they'll do is take it out on the black community. Same with Robert Bowers, who shot the synagogue up. Straight white supremacist. But he was taken into custody. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you again, and I'll say it again so you can be clear about this. They want these crackers to be apprehended so they can, this is where the movie deal and the book deal comes, why this motherfucker sits in prison, a fucking hero among the white supremacists and Aryan Brotherhood that's in all these penitentiaries, jails, and prisons across the United States. And so he'll become a millionaire while he's doing time because he's a hero for killing some so-called Jews, some so-called white Jews. He'll live like a king in the penitentiary. He'll be a major shot caller in the Aryan Brotherhood. So they want to do the movie deal, the book deal. Get Anthony Hopkins or one of them motherfuckers to play him, and everybody comes off, and give the synagogue millions and millions of dollars to the so-called victims. How can you be a victim and you a bloodsucker of the poor? Now let's talk about Sandra Bland. There's no outcry for her. Where were you niggas at then? Where's the outcry for her at? When this cracker here, this goddamn devil, this Ice Age, this snow monkey, savage motherfucking cracker, took this queen's life. And then stood her up after, you motherfuckers broke her neck. Stood her up and took her mug shots. But see, he was fired, officially fired. So what was he fired for if he was not guilty? See, we gotta wake up. We have to step to these motherfucking people, man. It's just that plain and simple. We have to step to these motherfuckers with no hesitation. You know, now why was he fired? And see, this is how they do it. To keep the bullshit down there, they pay us off. They pay the families off, and they think it's just supposed to blow away. This is a picture of her after after they stood her up, after they murdered her. And this is proof. This is not her rolling her eyes, because one eyeball is further back in her head than the other. And if you look at her face closely, you'll see both her eyes are black, and that's a sign of a person being deceased, because that's the first thing that goes back in your head is your eyeballs. And both of her eyes are black. Now look at both of the pictures. The one when she was awake and the one when she was deceased. Now you see the swelling of her face after she was murdered. How big her face is. And the way her eyeballs are sitting back in her head. So, and if you look at her clothing, it's totally different. You can tell she was propped up. You know, and so this is the big cover-up. See, we don't have anyone that has access to the main media, you know, that will put this shit out there and get these motherfuckers hit. You know, that's why I tell you all, we don't have any fucking leaders. Because if you are a true black leader, this shit would have been exposed, and this motherfucking cracker would have been dealt with. Along with these brothers, Tamir Rice, Eric Gardner, Mike Brown. It was determined he didn't even rob the store. It was a setup. And I will never stop talking about these brothers and sisters, because there's somebody, these are our young brothers and sisters. And when you stop talking about them and you stop fighting for them, they no longer exist. And we should not let these brothers and sisters die like that. Die in vain. Let these motherfuckers get away and celebrate at the bar and toasting for the murder of one of our brothers and sisters. No one should get a pass. But yet they jumping up and down, and this is outpour, and every 5 minutes they're talking about the synagogue or the 12 people in California. I'm sick of hearing that shit. I'm sick of hearing that shit. You know, we need not to forget. And then they got all these